I'm getting ready to have lunch with the MAC Cosmetics social team, and obviously I want to do some of my cool tone favorites. Cool tones are so big on the internet right now, and from reading comments and things like that, a lot of people just assume it's like that kind of purpley color. Like if it's not gray or it's not purple, it's not cool tone, but there's so much nuance to color, especially if you follow the way that MAC does undertones, which I have a video on, by the way. So I'm gonna do some of my favorite cool tone, cool neutral makeup products. I really don't know what I want to wear today. And then maybe we can go over some products at the end. I really only have an hour to get ready, but I think it's gonna be fine. Brows are on, skincare's already done. My hair's fine. Let's go. You know the rules, 24-hour eye base. Don't know where my lid is, so this is getting kind of hard. This is my everyday eyeshadow palette that I customized. Cozy Gray, Sandstone, Patina, which isn't made anymore, Omega, Wedge, Coquette, which only comes in small eyeshadow. Maybe I'll wear that today. Scene, Glitch in the Matrix, Copper Plate, which you can't get anymore. Greystone, Print, one of my favorites. Idolize, which is a luster, which you can't get anymore. Vex, Soba, Illuminati, Les Artistes, Honesty, which you can't get anymore, which was a luster, and then Carbon. These are my go-tos. These are my everydays. I love them. I would die without them. Coquette really is probably one of MAC's most underrated eyeshadows. It's also so beautiful in the brows as well. I'm telling you, the colors that look weird in the containers usually are stunning. Mixing Cozy Gray and Coquette together to bring it up into the crease. I'm going to take Omega. Sorry, that was Coquette and Omega. Now this is Omega and Cozy Gray to buff out the edges. And then just Cozy Gray under the brow. 221, one of my favorites. This is a 224, and then this is a BK Beauty 212. I'm gonna take a little bit of Coquette and Print together and start to smoke this out a little bit. For me, cool tones have to be like, I want desaturated makeup. I want the absence of color. So like to have something that's like a cool tone nude that has purple in it, the purple in it is too much color for me. I don't want that. I feel the most beautiful in these kinds of tones. And like cool tones are not necessarily gonna work on everybody, especially to this degree. And it can also be like a style thing. Like if your makeup style or your personal style is nowhere near this, it's gonna stand out and create contrast more. And I'm gonna be really curious to see what happens come like springtime if the people who are on board of the cool tone train leave. Cause like cool tones, 90s, like it's so back, and I'm just curious. I think what's really amazing though that's happened from all of this is I think that the industry understands now about needing more variety in undertones. And like the thing is that they do exist, especially when you have a brand as large as MAC. They do exist within it. It just takes a little bit more time to find them. It's not as in your face as other things are. I pulled a couple lip colors. This is Bronze Coin from L'Oreal. It depends on how you want to look at it and how you want to pair it and how you want to use it artistically. I just need to throw stone onto this to bring in the kind of silver brownish metallic piece, because there still is warmth to it. So it would sit more in like a neutral category, like neutral cool. And again, color is only relevant to the color that is beside it. So when you hold this up on its own, you see a lot more of the silvery brown. When you look at it on the skin, you see a lot more of the warmth. When you put them together, you can now pull out the tones that you see. It's gonna sit different on top of a lip, and then it's gonna sit different on your skin tone. It's gonna sit different depending on what you pair it with. So that's why something can be cool tone, but it depends on how you style it. That either can make it go either way. But that's what's like so fun about makeup. And when you spend more time like learning those things or learning what you like, that's where you start to create like your benchmark things. These are more like obvious. This is Diana from Unearthly. It's very gray. And then this is Eva, which is like an ochre color, which a lot of people are gonna call warm. But again, watch my video on undertones. The way that this generally would end up being styled is going to read more on that cooler side. There's a higher chance that the way that you're wearing this is going to give off that energy. Like, yes, you could make it, you could, you know, put it with spice liner, but there's just something about that ochre kind of shade that is cool. But again, watch the video on undertones, it will make a lot more sense. Actually, in my free SKOOL platform, in the SKOOL community, I think it's video 3, Correct and Conceal Like a Queen. I can't remember what I titled it. I break down, it's probably gonna be even better than the YouTube video. I break down the light spectrum, like how color is seen through the light spectrum, how brands like MAC make their colors, and then talk about color theory from there. So that will make this make sense. So go over there. This, I love, this is Fog. I'm gonna get distracted. That's just like a gray tint. So this will put a gray hue over top of your lip colors. This is a 3D Hydra lip gloss from Kiko in 27. So this has that purpley base, purpley pinky base, but it has iciness. Yeah, it's like a baby pink. This is Vive lipstick in Vive. So putting something like this on, you have to understand where you sit with the undertone you're talking about. Like, what is it to you that you love, so that you can have an arrangement of these. Because even if you kind of look at the totality of these colors, it kind of brings in a similar essence to my palette, right? This is from Kevyn Aucoin. This is Crystal Clear. So it's like a clear that has like a high blue purpley shift, right? So these would be deemed like neutral cool because both undertones can kind of exist in the color, but overall they're not really going to add warmth to the skin. My Melt pencil, I'm gonna line. The other thing too is that don't forget that like opposites complement each other, right? That's the whole point of the color wheel. So to have a lip that's technically neutral but leans more on the cool side, but the neutral part of that has that little bit of warmth, is going to complement the coolness, and that's why they kind of like work together. But the dominant shade that's on your face is going to be what the makeup looks like overall. So having a lot of cool colors on the face and throwing in something that's like slightly warm, whether it be like a blush or something like that, doesn't eliminate the fact that you're wearing cool tones or would like make your makeup not look cool tone. Oh, look at that. Oh, I love black eyeliner. I love this liner. Look at the difference in top versus top and bottom. And then it goes as far as like, there's cool tone equivalents to things, right? So let's say you have a deeper complexion. Let's say you're like an NC50, for example, and you love how Folio looks on me. You love the idea of it. There's a high chance when it goes on a deeper complexion or darker pigmented lip, it's gonna pick up more of the gray than more of that yellowy color, which would indicate that you need to put on something with like a little bit less gray. So you could look at something like Call It Cozy, which doesn't really have that gray base to it. It has more of its like golden ochre kind of color, and then when that goes on the lip, it can give similar energy to what Folio was, and then you compare it with a liner that kind of gets you closer to where that is. So it doesn't mean that like Folio wouldn't be cool on you or isn't working, it's just, does it actually achieve what you're going for? Omega and Cozy Gray, just to buff this out. I'm also always color matching people in my head, like in public, like I'll be looking at people and I'm like, yeah, NC45, yeah, N4.75, yeah, NW20. And then if I'm like in their presence for a little bit longer, I'm like, but probably like an N, you know, and 5 powder on top. A little bit of carbon. I take a little bit of print and I just kind of graze in the crease here, just so it's like a little bit more lifted. And then another one of my favorite tricks is I take a little bit of, I would say that Cozy Gray, Omega, and Coquette are like my 3 favorite eyeshadows. I'll just brighten the center of my lid, and then it kind of makes everything like a little bit more hazy. And I kind of brush it everywhere. I want more black, but I'm gonna mix it with print too. I'm gonna take a little bit of carbon right in here. Those are my eyes. Yeah, like I feel good in this. Some other really great, this is my Mauve palette. These are cream clay eyeshadows, M12 and M115. So good. That could be a base, that could be a contour, that could be your lip color. And then what are these? M111, M41, M42. They were with, I don't know if this pastel one, oh, I did it already, if this was with Jessica Hayes or not, but these other 2 were. So cool tone, but color. Cool tone, neutral. I still don't have makeup wipes. And now I have all this cream everywhere. Okay, we just rub it together and hope that it goes away. This is She Sparkles. It's a Dazzle shadow. This one here I broke, so I can't put it up into the camera, but it's called It's About Shine. And then I always put this one, this is called Dreamy Beams, because it has like in the brown, I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but the gold sparkle, and in the brown there's like this slight olivey shift in it. So again, when this goes dominantly on the eye, it's gonna read a little bit more cool, but again, it's all on how you style it. You could put a warm crease color with that and change it instantly, but on its own, how it will dominantly read is a certain way. Another one of my favorites is the M98 Hyaluronic Highlight Balm. There's a neutral base to it, but it has that silver in it. Obsessed. And then of course, these 2 here, Sheer Tone blushes. I guess this is Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise. And this is Goodbye Hello. Stunning. I'm just doing extended play because I have no idea where my black MAC stack went. I've been wearing the brown. Extended play on the lower lashes of a smoky eye is just everything to me. Like it tickles a part of my brain. Skin. Studio Radiance Primer because it's so dry. And I don't feel like opening a new Hyper Real Balm. I really should, but I'm just like waiting to finish other things. Folio for contour. I think that contour products as a whole, like all brands, need to develop more shades, because contouring really like stopped being a thing for a while. But there's also a high chance too, like in terms of like using what you have, you need to go look in your collection. Do you have eyeshadow that you could use to contour? Strawberry Skin Tint. I think I'll just do this one by itself. I did not use my Bright Forecast or my Studio Radiance concealer under my eye yesterday. And when I was at a coffee shop and I looked in the bathroom mirror and I was like, oh dear God, don't ever skip out on those. I'm gonna use the Full Coverage palette today because it's in front of me. I'm gonna mix, I wanna say it's 30 and 20 together. I'm gonna use that. Listen, I confirmed like a few weeks ago that Studio Fix tech wasn't going anywhere, but in case it ever does, this would be your replacement. I mean, you can buy them individually. You don't need the palette. Full coverage from Pro is going to be your closest replacement. So I can tell that I need to wash this brush now because of how things are blending. My skin feels dry today, so I'm going to use Magic Radiance Fix Plus as a Love It Lock It In, just to add more back into the foundation. I'm going to take a little bit of, this is probably NW30 with a little bit of NC, probably 45. And I'm going to do that as like a cream bronzer. And I just kind of bounce back and forth. You can see there's very minimal on here. I can pick up some of the Strobe Dewy Skin Tint on my hand too. Oh God, it's been a minute since I wore So Natural. I just love True Harmony so much. So on its own, you can see like there's more neutral, like this has more neutralness to it. But when you put it beside something that has quite a bit of peachiness to it, you can kind of see the undertones in it better. That's why things are only relevant to the color that they're kind of around. Now we need to brighten. Bright Forecast. This is the BK Beauty Nikki LaRose N14 powder brush, and I love it for under the eye. Highlight. So this now brings in a lot of brightness and dimension into the face. I prefer to build the structure of a face as I go, as opposed to blanking it out with foundation and then kind of like rebuilding things back in. And like the skin, like this, the tones in your skin, there's multiple tones in your skin. So working with them as you go, I find just creates a really beautiful makeup. There's nothing wrong with just like blanking things out, but it's just really not, it's not for me. Global Glow. So like warm base, but silver sheen. So the warmth like adds the structure into the face and adds a little bit of color, but the coolness comes from the silver reflection that happens. And I get asked a lot about like what's the, because there's obviously gold deposits, so like what's the equivalent for fair complexions? I would just take Soft and Gentle on a really fluffy brush and put it over top of your bronzer to get a similar effect. Lavender Pro Set and Blur. You know how bad I wanted that MAC bag? Is it Lunar? So badly I wanted it. Like, who got them? Raise your hand if you got one of those bags. Sold out in like 5 minutes. It wasn't even eligible for people in Canada, but I was gonna have it shipped to like one of my friends in the US. That's how bad I wanted it. I'm gonna let that sit on the skin for a second, just because I have the Fix Plus Magic Radiance kind of in here, and just let it warm up. Sweet Enough, Humor Me, Blush Baby, Mocha, Dainty are some really great cooler options for blush too. Okay, this is how badly I want a finished product. This is the old charcoal spray. So what does it even say? Reset applied makeup. Yeah, fair enough. It always had like the most interesting smell. I just want to use it up. I just want to use it up. I'm gonna put the Hyaluronic Highlight Balm on my cheeks and maybe even as a brow bone. Yeah. Get some lashes on. I haven't really been wearing powdered blush or layering my blush in the same way. I feel like I'm a little bit more blush heavy in the summer. The lines are a little harsh. Also, like cool tone eye pencils are so hard to come by, I find. That's like a dark gray from House Labs. Isn't It Ironic is like a dark silver from MAC. I won't swatch it because I'm running out. And then there's like this is like blue, but again, the concept of like, I don't want color. Hellbent's really nice as well. Coffee is beautiful. I don't know which lash goes on which eye. Does that look right? I think so. Okay, let's let that dry. And then we'll do brows. cool. I'm gonna marry the eyeshadow with the concealer. C2's Studio Fix powder under the eye and kind of like the center. I'm gonna mix both of these and just do a powder contour, but just for like the actual shadow. Did I do under here? Just do a powder here. Both of my gouaches are in my purse. I'm gonna put Hodgepodge down as my base liner. Stone definition. He's coming together. And then Acting Natural, of course. So if you guys want to be able to understand color theory and undertones a little bit more in depth and from like the actual base of what it is, not thinking about product, just thinking about how the colors work themselves and then how it translates into product, I have that free course on my SKOOL platform. So SKOOLwithak.com/Miss Megan free school. Because I know a lot of you probably didn't understand some of the stuff that I said or have heard that MAC does their colors so weird. So I break it down for you. So it's very, very, very simple. Look at that color. Look at that color. How are you so perfect? And then the Hodgepodge, because it's brown, gave it like a little bit of oomph underneath so that it's not just a very gray lip. I have enough gray going on that like having that bit of warmth is, it's cool. Added a little bit of Folio. I love how this looks. Very Miss Megan go-to look. I love it. I love a smoky eye. I love a nude lip. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a post. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram all under the same name at Miss Megan Robinson. And until then, I'll see you next time. Bye.